As we learned in the previous video, real estate investors must know how to analyze an overall market to determine what is happening within it at any given time. In addition, they must use their knowledge to identify the most profitable neighborhoods within that market for their various streams of income. Now, with that knowledge, we can begin to look at ways to make wise buying decisions in the right places. The most important thing you will do in real estate investing is buying. In other words, make the best deal possible when buying a property. This is where you will really make your money in real estate. In fact, you may have heard people say it before, but I'll say it again. You make your money when you buy. You just realize it when you sell your property and make a profit, or when you start getting positive cash flow from an income-producing property. And it's true. So it's imperative you buy right, meaning you never pay too much for a property. To do this, you need to get to know and understand the market you are buying in. After all, the only way you can calculate the after-repair value of a property is by knowing the fair market value of houses in the area you choose to concentrate in. It is a crucial part of the evaluation process. Now, some people think the true market value is what they see advertised online, or what the real estate agent gives them, when they look through the signs of the neighborhood. But that is a wish list, what the seller hopes to get. The true market value is not what people are asking for. It is what someone's willing to pay and someone else is willing to accept. And more specifically, it is the sales prices of houses that have sold within the last 6 months. Now, no matter what type of real estate investing you do, you will need to understand your market. And understanding your market will help you get to know and figure out what to offer, how to recognize a good deal when you see one, and how to act quickly. And as you develop your knowledge of the market, you'll be spending less time looking at properties that aren't worthwhile investments. And so start by looking in a low to moderate income neighborhood where you will find a large inventory of properties. If you want to buy, fix, and sell, look for decent neighborhoods where it is clear neighbors care about the property in the community. If you want to wholesale properties, you will be looking more toward extremely distressed properties or neighborhoods. Of course, in order to define your target area in relation to your goals, you need to know where each of these areas is in your city. If you are not sure where these areas are, you will need to segment your city with the help of your real estate agent. If you do not already have a real estate professional or need to know what to look for in a good real estate agent, I'm going to be covering more of that in our next video. Once you have your real estate agent, you'll want to ask them what the average price of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home is in your city. You'll also want the agent to pull up a one-line MLS, or multiple listing service, list of all single-family homes. Sometimes they call this a short form, and have the agent start at $0 and go all the way to 120% of the average home price. With this information, you can now identify which areas are low income, working class, middle income, and higher income neighborhoods. Again, once you have that average price, you want to go ahead and multiply it from anywhere from 70% to 110% to give you the range of what houses are going for in your city. And once you have this information, you will need to get out a map of the city. And you can typically obtain a really good map from your city directly. You can purchase it from a local store, or most likely just find it on the internet. And you will need to make at least 2 copies of this map. I would suggest that you have 1 copy enlarged to a size that allows you to easily see the streets, and get this copy laminated. If you live in a large city, begin by concentrating on about a 1 mile square area, or about 20 to 40 blocks square, and you can gradually expand your area from there. The second map should be on an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper that you can put in a notebook and carry with you in the car. Write on that map where the low income, working class, and the middle income areas are based upon the information you received from the agent. And I would identify extremely distressed neighborhoods more appropriate for wholesaling properties. And if you don't know where these areas are, talk to someone who is knowledgeable about your area. You can contact property management companies, appraisers, postal carriers are a great source of information, cable workers, or your local police. And these maps will also help you understand what homes are selling for in different segments of your city. Now, as you become more familiar with real estate investing and the skills you needed for the streams of income you will focus on, this map will become more valuable to you as time passes. Now, when you are searching the MLS for various properties that are for sale, you can do specific searches for zip codes or neighborhoods, And when you're ready to go after your next lease option, foreclosure, wholesale, or rehab property, this map will be an invaluable tool. Now, as we discussed before, you'll want to pick an area to focus on. Your target area will depend on what kind of investing you want to do. For example, if you plan to buy a house, fix it up, and then resell it, you will be looking in the working to middle income areas. If you want to do quick turns without ever fixing the property, you'll look in areas that are more distressed, areas that have rehabbers that will tend to actually work on the houses. And if you're not sure which area to target, then start with the working to middle income neighborhoods, and you can always expand to other areas as you feel more confident. And once you've completed this map assignment, you will be able to get into another region anywhere in the country and get to know the market very quickly. So now that you've picked out your target area, you'll want to go ahead and get to know the market, and you will now ask the real estate agent to pull up the comps, and this is another name for comparables within a certain neighborhood. And what you will get is a list of properties that have sold within the last 6 months in the particular area where you are focusing your investing. The reason you need the agent to do this is because the comps help you understand the market. Now, earlier we mentioned some people that think through the true market of what they see in the houses in the for sale section online, but the true market is what someone is willing to pay and someone else is willing to accept in a competitive and open market. And real estate appraisers use the sales comparison approach to identify properties that have recently sold that are similar in square footage, number of bedrooms, location, property type, available amenities, etc. To the house they are appraising. And appraisers will usually look at 3 houses to determine the value of the house they are appraising based upon the recent sales prices of those similar houses. Now, appraisers also look at other methods to determine the value of a property, such as what's called a cost replacement method. And with this method, they are comparing this house to what it would cost per square foot to build a new one. And this method is not as accurate because supply and demand, as well as the economics of an area, determine what people are willing to pay. And you will find the appraised value leans heavily on the comparables. Now, if you're buying rental properties, the appraiser will use an income approach. This is where the value of the property is based upon the income it produces. And this method is used in determining the value of multi-units. So go ahead and have the real estate agent pull up a list of houses that have sold within the last 6 months in the area that you're focusing on. And you want to ask the agent to pull up about 20 houses. If 20 houses haven't sold, that's okay. You can't make more houses sell than have sold. On the other hand, if the agent pulls up 40 houses, that's just too many. Go ahead and ask your agent to condense the list down either by square footage, number of bedrooms, geography, or style, until you have about 20 houses for your comparables. Now, keep in mind that information about houses that have sold within the last 3 months is more valuable than the comps that are 6 months old, since the market can change quickly. So looking at the list of properties that have sold within the last 6 months, you will see a bunch of information about each house, things such as the listed price, the sold price, the number of days the house is on the market, the square footage of the house, how many bedrooms and baths are in each house, the lot size, which can either be square footage or the percentage of an acre, and then also it'll tell you the year built or the age of the house. And this is the minimum information you should have on each of the comps. However, you will probably see more because you are going to ask the agent to include the remarks. This would be the comments, and also get a picture of the house. And the remarks are valuable because they provide information on why the house is sold for that particular price. And you'll be driving through the neighborhoods, and you'll be driving by each of these houses. But because they have been sold, you won't be able to actually see inside. And since you can't judge a house by its cover any more than you can judge a book by its cover, the remarks will give you a clue as to the condition of the house. So you'll see things in the remarks section such as great fixer-upper, handyman special, needs TLC, sold as is. And reading this, you'll know that the house probably needed some work, even if it looks great on the outside. You may also notice remarks in the comment section, saying things such as motivated seller, must sell, foreclosure, bank owned, illness forces sale, divorce, transferred. And when you see words like that, it could be an indicator that the seller is motivated rather than it's the house specifically. So when you get your comparables list, you'll need to drive by each of the houses on it, stop by the car, and look out the window. And you want to write down what you see. It's not a test to find something wrong in the property. The house may look great. You're just trying to figure out why the house sold for that price. And you want to start with the roof. How does it look? You don't need to be a roofing expert to know it needs work. If you see some missing shingles or shingles that are curling up, you also want to look at the exterior of the house. How does that look? Does it need work? Again, not a test to find what's wrong in the house. If it looks great, it looks great. But if you do notice something is wrong, then write it down and be sure to pay attention to the picture on the MLS sheet. If the picture does not look as nice as the house does now, then the person probably bought the house to fix it up. And then also you'll want to look at the yard. How does it look? Does it look groomed and taken care of? Again, paying attention to the picture. And the goal of this exercise is to understand why houses sold for what they did. So after completing each of these steps, you'll now have a solid understanding of your market, and you should be good to go as you continue your real estate investing journey.